Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Ellis, and today I'm back with a preview. It's Everton versus Brentford. Everton are back, and winter is back. Whether that's a good thing or not, I'll have to let you decide. But it's cold, it's wet, and we're back at Goodison on Saturday. Can we make it again to remember? I really, really hope so. The international break is done, and suddenly this season we've started enjoying international breaks because we haven't really been enjoying the games, but we're back now. And ultimately, as it comes to the weekend where Everton return, I do get that bit of excitement again, even if we know what to expect in terms of performance. So, Brentford, a team who we've actually done pretty well against, to be fair, since they've come up, especially at home. We've had a result away from home against them as well. So maybe we might just be their bogey team. We've got to hope that, haven't we? But Sean Dyche did his presser today and he gave us some team news. Armando Broja, he's had a week of training, but he's got to go through a games program. So no Broja for this game. Probably as expected. Maybe other managers might have let him play at this point, but we know that Dyche has this really strict plan to get players back to fitness, which, it might work. It definitely would with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It's frustrating when you see other players come back to fitness so quickly, like players like Dwight McNeil, who are straight back in, players like James Tarkowski, who are playing with an injury. Yet other players have to seemingly play twice for the 21s, train for 3 weeks before they can come back. But that just seems to be the way it is. And he also talks about James Garner, who had some good news apparently from seeing a specialist, which is a good sign, but he isn't going to be involved. Jared Branthwaite trained, so kind of going to see how he goes. Obviously, it's massive, massive for us to have him in that team. And we heard during the international break he was actually training inside, which it's a bit of a worry that he turned up and was training inside. So we know how important he is to us, but whether he's fit is another story. Dwight McNeil, apparently he's had a good week, so I imagine he's going to be in that team, back in the side. Whether he plays in the middle or on the wing is the question Dyche has to answer, and I'm sure we'll go into it later on in the video. But yeah, other than that, team news is pretty much the same. There's not any major breakthroughs really, and we're pretty much as you were, I imagine, with the team. So, in terms of us now, how are we feeling, Blues? Because I'm not feeling that positive at the minute about us, and I want to be. I want this season to get going, and it just hasn't. It just hasn't got going at all, especially not at Goodison Park. And we have to remember, I say it in every preview, it's the last season at Goodison Park, and we want to see some big performances. We want to see days that we can just remember and think that game in the last year at Goodison was fantastic. It'd be great if we could have one this weekend, but the performances just haven't been there yet, have they, at all? And the West Ham game last time out was just it was just drab, wasn't it? A drab 0-0 away performance. Another one that seemed like it was there for us. We didn't take it. And it feels like we've not had a home game in ages now, hasn't it? So we have to rectify the home form and we have to just sort ourselves out in general because at the minute we don't look like we're going to score a goal, do we? That's the biggest problem for me. Yes, the defensive solidity is kind of on its way back, but we just don't look like scoring. And the team that we're playing know exactly how to score. So if I look at our team, I'll go to that Dwight McNeil debate now. I wouldn't be playing him in the middle. I don't think he should play centrally. Yes, he's had the numbers, but it just seems like the team doesn't quite work structurally as well when he's there. Then you could argue that you don't really want to see Decore there because he doesn't have the technical ability. One player who could play there is Iliman and Dye. But if you watch the press conference today, Sean Dyche has said that there's no evidence to suggest that Iliman and Dye can play in the number 10 role. Well, don't really know what to say about that, to be fair. He played in the number 10 role for Sheffield United. I'm pretty sure he plays there for Senegal, but who knows? It's his decision, I suppose. He sees him every week, and maybe he just doesn't trust him yet in that defensive side, but I'd certainly be having him through the middle. He'd be the one I'd play there because he's just wasted on the wing. They double up on him. He has to run way more than he would in the middle, so by the time he gets the ball, he's knackered anyway. It's just a waste of such a talented player. So I'd be moving him into the middle. Another player that he mentioned was Beto. Liverpool World asked quite a good question, actually, saying that fans have been clamouring for Beto to start, and the polls have been saying that fans have wanted Beto to start as well. And Dyche just sarcastically said, I'll start him then. So he obviously is set in his ways and he has his stance on it. He once again does see Beto in training, so I'll give him that. But I would be looking now to maybe just play him because Dominic's not offering enough to really firm his place up in that team. And when he doesn't really want to be here anyway, I'd much rather have Beto playing in that side. So I don't think we'll see it, but it would be nice to see that. In terms of Brentford now, like I just said, they score goals. So this game, I don't know how it's going to go because if they do score goals and we don't, you'd think they're just going to beat us comfortably. But they also concede goals. This is the thing. They haven't kept a clean sheet in 11 games now. But West Ham hadn't kept a clean sheet in 14 games. So, you know, we just seem to give teams their first clean sheet. And we're not going to be negative because we're coming back from the international break. It's a fresh start. It's a chance to go and close the gap on Brentford. They're currently 6 points ahead of us in 11th. We're in 16th. If we win, we go 3 points behind them. That's what we've got to look at, isn't it? That's exactly what we've got to look at. We've got some really talented players. Johan Wissa is a doubt for this game. Really, really impressive player. One of my favourite Brentford players, actually. He scores so many goals and he doesn't get half the respect he deserves. He didn't get it when Tony was in the team, and he doesn't seem to get it now because Brian Mbeumo is the main man, really, isn't he? But Johan Wissa, if he plays, will be a real, real threat to us. And they just play a style that's so exciting. And yes, they are a bit direct at times, but they're just positive, aren't they? I think that's probably what I'd call them. Thomas Frank's coached them very specifically. He's got a way of playing, but it's also not too stubborn. I feel like he isn't on the side of the too direct teams, and he isn't on the side of the too tippy tappy passing football. He's kind of just about in the middle, and we've seen with his tactics boards where he's got little counters that figure out where players are on the pitch. He obviously thinks a lot about coaching. So a good manager and a manager who is actually considered by a few to be the one that they want for Everton's next manager. I'm not sure. Maybe. I'm not fully against it. I think he's a decent coach, isn't he? But I've got the memories of us appointing Premier League coaches before, so don't really know about that one, but that's Brentford. They're nothing special. They're not a team we should be fearful of, but they're a team that can score goals, but also concede them. So it might be nice actually, because we might just have a rare game at Goodison Park where there's actually goals, because we're not used to goals, are we, at the minute? But the fact that they've scored two, they've averaged 2 goals a game in the last 5, so that's definitely one for us to worry about. It's just a huge game. But looking at it overall, it's massive. It's the chance to finally go, forget all of this season so far and start fresh. Have I said that every week? I might have. But yeah, it's a chance to go and really just put everything behind us now. Go and win this game and go into this difficult set of fixtures with a bit of confidence, because we know what Everton are like. In a really tough set of fixtures, we sometimes prevail, don't we? And if we just have a win under our belts before that, it might just help us get through it. I'll just take a look through the December and January fixtures that we've got coming up. This is why this game is that important. December, we play Manchester United, Wolves, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, and Nottingham Forest. And then in January, we play Bournemouth, Villa, Spurs, and Brighton. We've got to win this, haven't we? We definitely have to win this. So fingers crossed we do. I'm expecting it to be a game with a few more goals than normal, just purely because of Brentford. But I really, really hope that we can actually get some, because we absolutely need it, don't we? It's just that league is tightly packed and we're far from cut adrift, but we're not in that deep scrap yet. And there's still a chance to push out and get yourself into a decent position when all the games come like thick and fast, basically. So this weekend's a chance to pull away and make sure we just stay away. And the teams that are around us, those relegation threatened teams, have all got difficult games as well. Ipswich are playing Man United, Ruben Amorim's first game at United. Southampton are playing Liverpool, who are obviously on fire at the minute, and Leicester are playing Chelsea. It's a chance where if you win, you go 3 points clear of all of them. So it's a big moment, and I really hope that Everton take it. In terms of a prediction, I'm going to go with, I could go wild here. I'm going to say 2-2. I think Wales suddenly score some goals purely because Brentford will leave massive gaps. and Brentford will inevitably score because they just have a team with bags of goals in there at the minute. So we'll see what happens. But make sure you let me know in the comments what you think. Have you got hope for this game? Has the international break changed your opinion on anything? It's a time to reflect, isn't it? To see what we think of the manager, of the players. Let me know. Are you Dyche in or Dyche out? And just how do you think will this game go, really? It's a big December coming up after this game. And God, we really need to do well, don't we? So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll speak to you next time. See you in a bit.